Good morning. Welcome to 4x8 Paper Stuff. This is Beth. We are in a creative mixed media art journal, a traveler's notebook size, following the words and wisdom of Mark Twain in his book, Following the Equator. Sit down, enjoy, and let's see where we go. So today started out like this. This is me in Procreate. And I added that to my page. We are in Fiji. We have landed in Fiji. We get to go ashore too. Mark Twain gets to go ashore. I forget I'm not in this. And I wanted to use this page. Now, intentionally, I knew I was going to cover most of that up, but I knew in my lifetime I would know it was all under there. And there's a lot of journalers that do that. But I'm going through this antique sticker book, which is so incredibly luscious. And I'm picking out navigation / crowns / letters, items to go on my page that represent Fiji, in my opinion, or the travel of getting there. And I do my journaling and I document that it's day 7. And I go through some pages I've ripped out of magazines and pick out an ocean scene. And I put them all on top of there and called it a day. Edited the video, had it scheduled to go up, and it all came to a crashing halt. Good morning, good morning. Slight confession. I am editing this video that I just finished. Well, actually, it's the next morning and I'm editing it. And I don't like it at all. I know I really don't like it. I didn't like it when I did it and I don't like it now. There are elements of it that I like. But I don't like, I just, yuck. So, I've never done this. The next day ever. But I made a sheet at my desk just to be making. Okay, here's the original. Here's the original. This I love. But I didn't do it on camera. So I was like, I can't put that down there. And I have Fiji arrived. I have statues that I'm sure aren't of the island of Fiji, but I'm going to leave them there because I love that. I have Grecian stuff here and ancient bowls. I know they're not of the island of Fiji, but I love that. They're not even of French Polynesia. These birds could be from anywhere. These jars are just gorgeous. I've looked at this picture for 3 months and I love it. I've looked at this picture for 3 months and I've loved it. This is this is an imprint on a piece of clay and it was turned into a necklace. Well, you just sew this in a magazine. I cut them apart. Then it's put on top of paper that I made on Procreate of just scraps of my own stuff that were in a color fashion and barely, no, that's not true. This is a photocopy of one of those pages that I did that were ugly, and then I put more stuff on top of them, and then I backed it off with paint. I photocopied one of them. Somewhere along the line. Anyhow, and that's what I guess this is the original. This is the photocopy. And I put this stuff on top of it. It only shows through in a couple places, but it all blends. Even this text here and this really dark spot I'm okay with because there's kind of a shadow in this Grecian wallpaper, whatever it is. I just like all this. It kind of goes from light to dark in a strange sort of way. So I photocopied it and I photocopied my journal page, and I think I'm going to cut out elements of this that I like and put them on here. Then I took another copy. I did another piece on Procreate, and this is all of most of my journal pages so far, or elements of them, even elements of this page, turning them sideways, blowing them up, just using sections. There's even pictures of knitting in here. I just love this. I don't know why. It's a mishmash. It would be a great background page, I think. I can do it over and over again because it's on Procreate. In fact, here's a knitting page. And actually, here's some native Fijians. Is that what they're called? Indigenous people of Fiji wearing some indigenous costumes, which I have heard in other parts of French Polynesia that this kind of costume, I don't know if I'm right or not, I've heard this, is a replica of what they used to do, because don't forget, they're in the tropics and it's hot and it's humid, and I live in a hot and humid place half the year. South Carolina gets hot and humid 3/4 of the year. But these guys, and clothing wasn't introduced until white men came along, Captain Cook or whoever came along first. So they would take their sails, when white people started coming into the islands, they would take their sails off their boats and wrap them around themselves when they came to shore. Is that true? I don't know. But there's gorgeous patterns on these. These remind me of quilt patterns. There's a lot of stuff in here that I see that are quilt patterns now. What came first, the quilt pattern or the wrap? I think the wrap, by far. Anyhow, this is knitting fabric and knitting swatches from K Facet, who is my favorite fabric designer also, and he uses a lot of the same color stuff in his fabric. This is from Iran, a sample of dye that they put in rugs in Iran. I love all this color. Love, 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 love. So I'm going to revamp my page before it ever gets going, and I know I don't like it. I'm going to put this on here, and truthfully, I hate to lose this sticker. Ooh, they're removable. These just got bumped up a tad in my book. Now this star might be problematic just because it's going to want to tear on all. Those stickers out of that antique sticker book are removable. That right there is worth the $25. Oh, yes. That's why I photocopied it mainly. I don't know if I'm going to get that off, but I can get this other stuff off. So this is me redoing my page. I'm not an advocate of that usually. I feel like since the paper does the talking, there's a reason why it wants it to be here, but I'm arguing back this time. And I don't want to lose this. Truthfully, I might just skip a page. I don't know. I'm going to do that. I'm going to skip a page temporarily. No. That came off rather easy. That must have just been glued. All right, this is going to be, this might be a page on its own. Yes, I'm doing laundry, sorry. Life goes on here. But I don't want a border or this dark side over here. And it has a cool Fiji magazine font, one that I made, which I love, but I might not. I can use that somewhere else maybe, because I think I'm going to tear that side off. I don't think I want to tip in on this side. That's what I'm trying to say. And I might end up removing some of this Grecian stuff, which is not a deal breaker for me, but I didn't want to tip in right again. That's a deal breaker. And now looks like there's a lot more white, which I'm going to fill in with some of these other stickers. And I saw that the Fiji flag does have a British crown on it to represent the history of England. And I read someplace too that they almost sold themselves to France because they were in debt again. Does that make sense? Is that correct? Most of my sources Wikipedia, and it's not always correct. I always say it's good enough for me because it's the basic facts, and I usually don't go beyond the basic facts when I'm using history in anything, or trying to be a little bit more historic. All right, I'm just going to skip over that one. Or attach this to that. Nope. Arriving on Fiji, since we had to skip Australia because of cholera. Fiji's going to have, I don't know how long we stay in Fiji. He stayed in Fiji. I forget I'm not on this boat. Mark Twain was. All right, I'm going to put these in little blank spots, which I think this could be a blank. I might cut off some of that blue. I don't even know if this is a British crown, but it represents royalty and the British rule in my head. And my head is the only one I got to go by. So yep, I'm redoing this already. I resisted yesterday, and I really didn't like it, especially after I made it. I'm like, I just don't like this. Now, it's hard to beat the page before it, but this could compete now. I don't want to cover up that bird's head. Hold on, I'm going to take this little star off. Voila. They're removable. Now, I don't even think I'm going to use this that represents the islands. This is not completely representative of any island, but it has tropical colors, tropical feel, tropical plants, tropical birds, theoretically. England, a tropical paint swatch, tropical inks or pigment ink things. And I'm going to add a few things like this ship's star, put it back in. I mean, you really can't even tell they're there at this point. Now, this could go here and not all of it, perhaps. So, see, you can't even see that they're in there. But I know they're there. They blend very well. Now, I think, even though I like this one, there's nothing wrong with this Fiji. I think I'm going to put the other one back in. I'm going to cut out this one that I made on this sheet. And this actually came before the page that I did with you, because I was just playing. I was going to add this page to my pack rat book, kind of represent this journal in my pack rat book. I was like, dang, I like that better. How come I can't repeat what I just did the night before in this thing? I was holding it back when I was talking to you because it's like, the one I made last night is way better. And the more I thought about it, and as I'm editing this thing, I'm like, I just don't like it. So I'm going to re-edit my edit. So as you've seen this is a highly edited video. And I'm going to include, because this happened after I edited the first video. I was outside with the dog, and a swarm or a group of osprey were circling in the sky, which is not unusual, but there were buzzards with them, and there was just a large number of osprey. Now, when I went back to get my camera, of course, I only found the osprey section. The buzzard part had kind of either gone somewhere else or moved, and the trees got in the way. But it was just, osprey make the weirdest noises. Herons make the weirdest. Oh, and I cut my finger yesterday. Herons make the weirdest noise when they take off. They're very prehistoric sounding when they take off. Okay. Somehow I always get this rumpled. Don't rip. Don't rip. Please don't rip. Oh, shoot. I don't apply it right. Or I make my fold in the wrong place, even though I try and try and try. Okay. That's a better application of this page. Now, we're going to see if I'm successful at re-editing. See? And it really and truly, there's a white spot there. I might cannibalize this even more. One of these pots were really cool. They were in some architectural magazine in somebody's house. And I cut them out. I used to cut out, you know what, too? The evolution of me, the evolution of a pack rat person, a pack rat paper person. I used to cut out a whole page. Now I'm going for tiny elements. What does that say about me? Could be right, could be wrong. I don't know. All right. Now that white spot is less white, because Lord knows you can't have any blank spots. And this flower picture has enough of a background color, and the page that it was glued onto has color that doesn't clash with all of this, because I mean, we don't want anything to clash with this, right? That I love. That other page didn't love. Oh, but I need to put the journal on. Can I get this off, or am I gonna have to cut it? I'd be able to get it off. Sort of. Oh, now it looks like it even got wet. Ooh, that's perfect. I guess I could cover up that right there. That's a piece of green wallpaper that I glued on. Okay, this is day 7. Day 7 2.0. I'm much happier with that. Now I can continue editing. Although it's going to be kind of difficult now. Got to put the skids on the first one. Why is this not going down? Now it's time to work on day 8. So much better. Thanks for hanging in there with me.